rise as you are able and remain standing for the arrival of Governor Otter, First Lady Otter, Brigadier General Garshak, Jeff White, and the rest of the official party, the arrival of the cadets, the presentation and posting of our national and state colors, our national anthem sung by Cadets DeCosco and Hoffman, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the invocation. Permission granted, sir.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air. proudly does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It is my honor to introduce Cadet Senior Airman Juarez to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is now my honor to introduce Cadet Staff Sergeant Doherty to deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day of celebration. Thank you for the food, water, clothes, and shelter you provide for us. Thank you for being with us and giving us the strength to commit and follow through this academy. Lord, I pray and ask you to help guide us through our new lives. I ask that you are there for us when we have to choose the hard right over the easy wrong. Lord, give us the strength to accomplish our goals and stay committed to staying the better person we have become. In Jesus Christ's name, Savior and Son, amen.
Please be seated. Thank you for your attention and respect. The cadets of IDYCA 2018-1 class have worked hard to create their own and build a legacy for future classes to follow. We will hear about a few of these records and accomplishments from our speakers today. On a cold, wintry day last January, we had 129 young men and women walk through our doors. Today, 111 of them are still here. These 111 have persevered through loneliness, sadness, and despair, but they have overcome. They have overcome their fears, and they are changed individuals, both emotionally and physically. Class 18-1 has learned to accept challenges and push through adversity to reach their goals. Our staff has modeled our core values of respect, integrity, courage, and commitment to these cadets. My hope is that these young men and women will take the direction that has been shown to them and become productive citizens of Idaho that we can be proud of. Since this commencement is, of course, about our cadets and what they have become and what they've changed, I would like the Axe Flight to stand up and please recite the Axeman Creed.
The Axeman Creed! The
that not give you goosebumps? That's right, give a big round of applause. So, congratulations to class 2018-1. I wish you the best, and thank you. Idaho Youth Challenge cadets, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Director Trevor Sparrow.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the commencement ceremonies for Idaho Youth Challenge Academy, Class 18 TAC 1. You guys made it. Awesome. Your family made it. That's even more important. You get to go home after we're done today, right? I want to personally welcome on stage First Lady of Idaho, Lori Otter, Brigadier General Michael Garshak, Adjutant General of the Idaho Army National Guard, Jeff White, Chief of the National Guard Youth Programs, and then to my right, Mr. Bicker Therian, Principal of IDYCA, Mr. Guy Bonner, Commandant of IDYCA, Mr. Dan Drover, Case Manager representing the Programs Department for IDYCA. It's a great honor to see in the audience representatives from U.S. legislators, Idaho state legislators, tribal officials, and local community and school district leaders. All of you provide invaluable support to the purpose and mission of the Idaho Youth Challenge Academy. Another wonderful, most extraordinary group of people I would like to thank are the staff at IDYCA. Each and every one of the staff members I have pleasure of working with truly give of themselves for something greater, much greater. They work sometimes with little sleep and extremely exhausted to help each of the young men and women that walk through the doors of the Idaho Youth Challenge Academy. They do this because they care about the change that these young men and women are trying to realize for themselves, their families, and for their future. I couldn't be more proud of our staff and all they do every day. At this time, I'd like to recognize them as groups. First, would Principal Therian and his teachers please stand? You're welcome to give them a round of applause, yes. Would our administrative and support staff please stand? They're usually up here. Or over there. And he's not here today, but Mr. Nelson is our programs coordinator and Dan Drover's representative. So Dan and the program staff, would you please stand? And to our medical, I have to say this before I have them stand up. We asked before we started today if there was, how many have not gone to see the medical staff? And I think there was what, 6, maybe 5, 6? So our medical staff, would you please stand? She's right here, and right there. They take care of all the owies and the colds and the tummy aches, and they're very favorite staff. Another favorite staff on campus is our DFAC, our dining facility staff. If you're here, would you please stand? And last but not least, our Commandant, Guy Bonner, and his cadre staff. They're along the walls. Our cadre, they have the tremendous job of getting all the kids up, dressed, getting them on their way with their chores in the morning, getting them to class, I could keep listing on and on and on. Our cadets become very fond of their cadre, and sometimes they're not fond of their cadre. But it's a wonderful, this is a wonderful culmination of all of our efforts working together. To the parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, guardians, thank you for letting us be a part of your child's life. They've learned a lot of things while they're here. Give them the chance to prove what they have learned and become responsible young adults with goals, great ideas, manners, and true dedication to continue to strive to be a better person every day. And that's about the end of where I'm going to start reading my script. Last night, I'm changing it up. I'm making my deputy director nervous. Last night, we had the opportunity to witness our talent show with our cadets, our last dinner with our cadets. And I was sitting there thinking as I watched these young men and women share their talents, I wanted to say a few words to them last night, and I didn't want to take any of the thunder away from those cadets who were sharing their talents. So I figured I would save it for today. So the rest of my speech is to you, cadets of Class 18 TAC 1. I had a wonderful father and mother who used to give me two quotes all the time, and it drove me nuts every time they said it when I left the house. They would always look at me and they would say, "Remember who you are and return with honor." Those were the two things that they would say, and it would drive me nuts. But as I think about that, and as I think through my adult life and some of the things that I have learned, those two sayings, there was a reason why they told me that all of the time. And those two sayings have helped me become the person who I am, and hopefully will help my children. And so today, as I sat and watched you last night, I thought of all the talents that weren't shared. We didn't have a lot of time. Those of you who wanted to stand up in front of the squadron and share your talents were able to do so. But all of you have talents. All of you have gifts and abilities. All of you will have a chance to change the world, and you will change the world. You will meet so many people, and as you do so, remember respect, integrity, courage, and commitment. Those things that you learned over the last 5.5 months are all ingrained in those 4 core values. And as you go out, remember who you are. Remember the talents that you have. Remember the things that you learned. Remember that those talents that you were able to develop and the ones that are still lying dormant will be a part of who you are and how you help change the world. They'll be a part of you that you learned today. And then remember to always return with honor wherever you're at, whether it be to your spouses, to your children, to your employer, to future students that you'll teach, future soldiers that you'll train for some of you. Wherever your lot is, your capacity that is in life, always, always return with honor. And remember that integrity. I'm proud of each of you. I'm proud of the talents that you have. I'm proud of the fortitude that you showed the last 5.5 months. I'm excited to see what the future holds for all of you as you change the world. Thank you. We have a special guest from Washington, D.C. with us. I'd like to now introduce Mr. Jeff White, the Chief in the National Guard Youth Programs.
Well, I didn't realize I would be speaking when I came today, so my notes are on a Holiday Inn card. So, Trevor, Director Sparrow asked me to speak to everyone just a little bit about perspective of the National Guard Bureau Youth Challenge Program. Well, you know it in Idaho since 2014 when it was started, and I will tell you, you have one of the better programs in the country. So you're lucky for the staff that you have here and the commitment from your leaders. In only 3 short years, they have already moved into the probably top 20% of the programs around the country. Just to give you some perspective on what that means, currently we have 40 programs in 28 states plus District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. So we graduate over 11,000 cadets a year. Since I took over in 2015, we've added 4 programs. And just so you understand the history of Youth Challenge, back in the early 90s, there was an epidemic of dropouts in the United States, and Congress was concerned about it. And so they decided to see what they could do, and there were a few minds out in the public, Dan Donahue, Hugh Price, and some other experts who said that the military structure and the military model was the way to take these kids who had dropped out, give them the perspective and the grit and the determination that they needed to succeed in life. And so they developed the Youth Challenge model. They started with 10 programs in 1993. This is our 25th anniversary. Now we have 40. We graduated somewhere around 1,400 cadets that first year, and we graduated 10,900 last year, and we're on target this year to graduate over 11,000. So Congress was very happy, and they continually tell the Department of Defense, who funds Youth Challenge, that to continue funding Youth Challenge. They also put their money where their mouth is, and they gave us an additional $30 million this year to help Youth Challenge. And so while we've developed 40 programs, there are some things that we needed to focus on in Challenge. We have the education down, we have the GED program down, we have the discipline and the structure and the fitness down. What we needed to work on was job training and getting high school diplomas, credit recovery, so our younger cadets could go back to high school and finish up what they started instead of moving into the job market at 16 years of age, which is a difficult time you can imagine to get a job. So the money came forward for programs for job training initiatives. President Trump has a new apprenticeship executive order that he's requested that programs across the country be evaluated on whether they're actually helping people get jobs that the country needs. Everybody doesn't have to go to college. Everybody doesn't have to be a doctor. Everybody doesn't have to be a PhD. It's more important that everybody has an opportunity to earn a life living, to take care of their family, and to move forward in life. So what we have focused our extra money on is job training initiatives. Idaho is working on some of that themselves. And they also had a partnership with the Department of Labor to create a program called Job Challenge, which is a 5-month program that takes Challenge graduates, gives them 5 more months of training, the same structure, in the same discipline, in residence, to learn a skill, to get a certification, to get an apprenticeship, to get a job. So those kind of efforts are where Challenge is moving in the future. Your program has all that, so you're lucky. There are many programs that are still GED only, and as we try to move forward for Youth Challenge, those are the programs that we're going to try to move into those other areas. It's the 25th anniversary. I'll tell you, in addition to those 40 states and 40 programs in 28 states, we also have a program international now. It's not ours, but the Louisiana program is one of our longest lasting and our largest program. They graduate 1,400 cadets a year, just in the state of Louisiana. Well, their partner nation in the Building Partnership Program in the National Guard Bureau is Belize. Belize, when they visited Louisiana, didn't care about learning how to march. They didn't care about learning our military principles. They loved the Challenge program. So now they have one. Louisiana helped them build their program, and it's modeled after ours. It's a year-long, but it's not exactly, because their culture is a little different from ours. It's only males at this time, but we're exporting this product. Sweden calls me all the time and asks me to help them get a program. I don't know how we will do that, because I don't know how they'll fund that, and I'm not sure they'll let me go do that. But I'm just saying that there's interest across the world in this program. So I think we're on the right track, and we're continuing to move forward, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak. So just so you know, Challenge across the nation has over 3,000 employees as well. So 40 programs, 3,000 employees, 11,000 graduates, and so far to date we've had 11 million hours of service from these cadets to the community at a value of $275 million. So I don't know about you, but I think this is what you could call a success. I went to their talent show last night, and I've got to tell you, you have some amazingly talented young people here. I saw country singers, I saw rap singers, I saw dancers, I saw piano concertos, I saw an amazing violin performance. I think that one made it to my LinkedIn account. So you cadets, the sky's the limit for you. I encourage you to remember what you've learned here, to go home, get the support of your mentors. Challenge will always be there for you, so reach back if you need our help, and good luck to you. Thank you.
I'd like now to introduce Michael Garshak, the Brigadier General for the Idaho National Guard.
I'd like to welcome Governor Otter and Mrs. Otter. I'd like to also welcome our former Adjutants General who are here, Major General Manning, Major General Saylor. Welcome to all of our distinguished guests. What a tremendous turnout today. You know, the presence of so many of our state, local, and tribal leadership is a testament to today's event, to the significance of today's events. And I'd like to give a special welcome to the families, the friends, the mentors, and the loved ones. Your love and support and your encouragement has been so critical in helping these cadets make it to this commencement today. And it will be a key ingredient going forward in order to ensure that these young men and women continue to build on their success well into the future. I'd like to recognize Director Sparrow, Deputy Director Browers, and Principal Theory. Trevor, Melissa, Bicker, you and your first-rate team of staff, cadre, counselors, and teachers continue to work miracles with these young men and women, and we couldn't have a more professional and dedicated team leading the Academy. You have my absolute respect, my admiration, and sincere appreciation for all that you do. Thank you, and well done. You know, as the Adjutant General for Idaho, the Governor has charged me with several critical duties and responsibilities, to include serving as the Commanding General of the 4,500 brave men and women of the Idaho Air and Army National Guard, as well as providing oversight for the Idaho Office of Emergency Management and the Idaho Public Safety Communications, all of which are critical to the safety and well-being of the citizens of Idaho. But perhaps the most rewarding duty of the military division is the Idaho Youth Challenge Academy. And I'd like to recognize and thank our Commander-in-Chief, Governor Otter, for his leadership and genuine care and support of the Academy. You know, one of Governor Otter's top priorities is to empower Idahoans to be the architects of their own destiny. He has stated that it is a proper role of government to provide citizens with the information and tools they need to help ensure their own well-being and that of their families. Well, Governor, on behalf of the Military Division and the staff and cadre of the Youth Challenge Academy, I'm honored to present 111 empowered young citizens of the state of Idaho. And finally, to the cadets. When I visited you in early May, I challenged you to take the tools and the information that you had gained over the first 16 weeks and to sprint to the finish line for the final 6 weeks. And that is what you have done, and here you are. Congratulations. I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of you. The future is yours. Thank you.
So please open your programs and notice the web link to the IDE Youth Foundation in your program insert. Scholarships are just one part of how the foundation supports the Academy and our mission to intervene and help youth reclaim their potential. They also support incentive awards programs, legacy projects that the cadets initiate, and many other Academy needs. If you do have a Facebook page, the foundation encourages you to like that page today to help boost our presence in Idaho youth who might need this opportunity. Our foundation is sincerely hoping you will share it with all your friends and family and ask them to like and share it too. The foundation has graciously awarded 4 of our current cadet scholarships to assist them with their college endeavors. As I read your name, please come forward and on the stage and receive your scholarships from Brigadier General Garshak. Receiving a $1,000 scholarship today, Cadet Staff Sergeant Lemos. And receiving a $500 scholarship, Cadet Staff Sergeant Christensen. Cadet Staff Sergeant Mananu. And Cadet Staff Sergeant Free. Good job, Free. Thank you. Joining us today is Michelle Carter, mother of 17-1 cadet graduate Staff Sergeant Angel Carter. Sadly, only a few weeks after her commencement last year, Angel passed away from her injuries sustained in a car accident. I said I wasn't going to do this. Angel is fondly remembered for her great smile, attitude, and outlook. Our IDYCA family honored to welcome Mrs. Carter today as she awards the Angel Carter Memorial Scholarship to one of our cadets. Please join me in welcoming her on stage.
I believe even in the darkest soul, there is always hope. People want to believe in something greater. And it may be easier to hate, but it is stronger to love. Clark Kent, IDYCA alumni, class of 17-1, Staff Sergeant Angel Carter. Good morning, cadets, staff, parents, family, and extended friends and family. My name is Michelle Carter. First, I would like to say congratulations to all of you, cadets who are completing your program. I know that from experience there were some tough days. You should all be proud of yourselves for persisting and working extremely hard. You're now ready to move on in the journey of life. Scott and I became aware of IDYCA when our daughter Angel suffered with depression. Her grades were falling dramatically and she was at risk of not graduating. I had talked to her several times about the academy, and she was not impressed at all. She did not want to leave home. But then one day in November of 2016, she had a severe depressive episode, and we had to withdraw her from high school. A couple of days later, she came to me and asked me if she could come to what she referred to as the military school. There were a lot of tears the day that we came to Pierce to drop her off for her first day. But because her education was extremely important to all of us, including herself, we, as all of you, much like your own, we left our precious daughter in the care of strangers in hopes of a miracle. Angel worked hard, and she wanted to achieve her 4.0. She didn't do that. She achieved a 3.88 GPA. She was beaming with pride the day that I walked out that door. And her dad and I could not have been more proud of her and all that she accomplished. Angel achieved her Staff Sergeant ranking as well as guidon during her stay. Unfortunately, September 9th, 2017, we lost our Angel to a tragic car accident. We decided to create a scholarship with the help of other family as a way to give back pay it forward in her honor. We chose a cadet from the IDE YCA Academy as our first recipient because the Academy and its staff played such a huge part in her success. She made lifelong friends, although short. So it's my honor to give the first Angel Carter Memorial Scholarship to Cadet Carson Crookham.
First Lady Lori Otter was born in Pensacola, Florida, and moved to Idaho in the 70s when her father retired from the Navy. She graduated from Kimberly High School and went to earn her AA from the College of Southern Idaho and her Bachelor of Science degree from Boise State University. With degrees in education and physical education, Mrs. Otter spent 12 years teaching and coaching before becoming our First Lady in 2007. As a First Lady, Mrs. Otter has put forth countless hours an unwavering amount of effort toward the state of Idaho and its communities. She has been instrumental in creating the Idaho Meth Project, aimed at reducing first-time meth use in the state, and also the CEO of Idaho Women in Leadership, a nonprofit organization working to advance Idaho women's leadership in government and business through leadership training programs. In addition to her nonprofits, Mrs. Otter serves on countless boards and commissions, including the Idaho Military Advocacy Commission, and has written a series of children's books geared towards the 4th grade Idaho history curriculum. I have one. There's 5 of them. In her free time, Mrs. Otter enjoys spoiling her beautiful grandchildren, riding her horse, roping, golfing, playing tennis, and using a paintbrush to create watercolor art on canvas. Please welcome Idaho's First Lady, Lori Otter.
So we've been doing this for 12 years now, cadets. And the governor and I wasn't gonna do this. I don't cry, I'm not a crier, trust me. My husband's probably seen me cry 4 times in his life. I just get mad. Anyways, I remember going to Washington, D.C. for our first Governor's Association meeting. And we had General Saylor with us. And he said, hey, there's this thing going on down at the hotel. It's a big auction thing. Why don't you come check it out? Little did I know that General Saylor had a plan. And he hooked me. And as an educator, that was a pretty easy sell. And I can tell you that standing here 11 years and 6 months later, when you all came in here and did, by the way, one of the most impressive approaches to your seats that I've seen in 11 years of graduation speeches, so good for you. I just about started bawling because, and I'll tell you why, because for 12 years I worked in the public school system and I worked with kids who struggled, and I saw your struggle and I knew what your families were going through, and I know how wide and how deep the cracks are when you fall through them, and how hard it is for you to crawl and scratch and find the strength and the inner fortitude to make a change in your life. And to do it at your age is something that I hope today, when you get done celebrating and you embrace what you've accomplished, that you take the time to write down what it is that allowed you to be successful at this time in your life. What is it that you were able to find What is the support system that you had around you? How did you do what you have just accomplished? Write it down, fold it on a piece of paper, and tuck it away. Because you're entering a part of your life that structure, the personal accountability, and all of those things that you've learned in the last 17 and a half months, you're going to have to draw on that. And you're going to have to be the person to push yourself, because that's what we now expect of you. You have the skills that you need to do whatever it is you put your mind to do. My dad always said you can do anything you want in the world as long as you're willing to work for it, because nobody's going to hand it to you and nobody's going to do it for you, and the sooner you figure that out, the better off you're going to be in the world. So when you look at everything that's gone into this, through your mentors, through your parents, through your friends, through your family, through whoever it was that was in your circle of trust that allowed you to trust yourself, that's what you need to grasp onto and hold on to for the rest of your life, because that will be the most impactful part of your life, and it'll allow you to go forward. You don't get anywhere in this world alone. You just don't. The person sitting to the left of you and to the right of you, behind you and in front of you, are all here for a reason. They're all here because they have a vision, they have an investment in you. And it's not okay for you to ever fall through a crack again. It's not okay for you to be in a place where you don't feel that you can be successful. It's not okay for you to feel that you are struggling and you don't know what to do and you make bad choices because of that. All of these people in this room are here because it's not okay for you to do that to yourself. And it's my deepest hope as an educator, as a stepmom, as a grandma, as a wife, that you learn that it's not okay for you to be in that place in your life, and that there's always people that are willing to help if you're strong enough to ask. And that's what it comes down to. So in this military parlance, my mom, I'm from a Navy family, so this is completely foreign to me. In fact, I have to always study ranks before we come here so I don't make a mistake. And my mom would always say, and again, Navy family, my mom would always say, Laura, you gotta pack your own parachute. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? And she's like, just pack your own parachute and then you don't have to worry about it. And I'm thinking, Mom, we're a Navy family. We don't jump off the ship. You know, we're not supposed to be jumping off of it. But she was talking about the fact that I had a little bit of a tendency to kind of, you know, talk people into doing things for me, or I'd make sure that things got done, but I wasn't always 100% sure they were done correctly, and that could lead to problems. You know, you can get yourself into some bad situations when you're not packing your own parachute and you don't know what your exit strategy is, and you don't know exactly how things are going to turn out, which none of us do, but at least you're prepared, right? And so when you get out after today and you're thinking about, you know, what are my next steps? Again, you don't have to figure it out alone. There's people here to help you. And there's always people here to help you. And it doesn't matter if you're in this group or you're 10 years from now. There are people that you have formed lifelong alliances with, lifelong family. Not all of us are blessed with a great family. Some of us struggle in that area. But you can pick your family, just like you pick your friends. And when you pick your friends and your family, then you empower yourself to become like the person that you want to become. So it is my huge honor to be asked by General Garshak and this program to even speak with you today, because you've accomplished at between 16 and 18 what many adults never do. There's a lot of adults walking around here making bad decisions, and they keep making bad decisions because they've never had the opportunity to learn what you've learned about themselves and about other parts of the world. And so I just really challenge you to find that inner strength, write it down, put your goals into writing, talk to people about what you want to do, surround yourself with people that you admire, surround yourself with people that you want to be like, because that's how you become. You become by believing that you can be whatever you want to be. And you become by doing the things that lead you to become that person. It doesn't just happen overnight. I think Yogi Berra, is, if you're a Yankees fan, said overnight success usually takes about 15 years. It does. It takes you that long just to figure things out, right, sometimes? So one of my biggest, I'll leave with one little last thing of advice, a couple things, is be true to your work, whatever it is, be true to your work, be committed to the excellence that's been entrusted to you with that work. So always be committed to that excellence, whether it's physical, mental, social, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, do it the best you can. And be committed to your friends, and be committed to yourself. Because everybody in this room is as committed to you as you should be to yourself. And that's a big, big lesson to learn. With that, you can do anything. If you can believe in yourself when others don't believe in you, you've accomplished a lot. So life is really just an accretion of chance and choice. It really is. There's going to be opportunities, there's going to be chances, and there's going to be choices. And it's going to be the combination of those three things that will put you on the next path to wherever you're going to be. So it's not really about the road less traveled, it's about the roads not taken. The roads less traveled is kind of a cheesy interpretation of a really good poem. But the road not taken in life is what you have to pay attention to. It's the things that you don't do because you don't think you can do, instead of the things that if you tried or you went out of your comfort zone, that you could accomplish. And those are degrees and running for office and getting married and being a good parent and doing all of those things that you see other people do. There's a recipe for life, and if you look around, there's plenty of people doing a great job at it that can help you. So with that, I really just will leave you with this thought. The world is run by people who show up. It's as simple as that. You have to show up. If you're interested, go to the meeting. If you want to be part of it, show up. If you want to help, don't ask how you can help. Show up. Help. Be part of the solution. Show up and contribute what you've learned. Because I guarantee you, for every 111 kids sitting here today being successful, there's another 111 that are on the sideline of those cracks going, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And you, of all people, have the ability to talk their language. I'm 52 years old. I can't talk. I recognize it, but it's hard for me to talk that language to somebody who's in that space. You can. You have a finite window of opportunity to use your age and your wisdom, because you are wise, to help other kids in that journey. And I hope that you really take that to heart and can mentor other kids your age so that they can learn from you and you can all move forward, because Idaho needs you. America needs you. And I'm just above proud of all of you. The governor and I couldn't be more proud to have been a small part of General Saylor's brainchild over here, and to see it through in all your glory, really. It's pretty cool. So don't be afraid to smile. Have fun today. You're still a kid. You get to be a kid. And enjoy your day. And just know that everybody in here has your back, or they wouldn't be here. So with that, thank you, and God bless.
So, Mrs. Otter, we would like to present with you a small gift and a token for being our lovely keynote speaker today. And this is for Mrs. Otter, but it's also, of course, for you too as well, sir. So.
Oh, yay, that's neat.
So Director Sparrow would like to just thank you for your commitment to the youth of Idaho and for taking a chance with the Youth Challenge and what it's become for the amazing amount of cadets that we've had come through here. So again, we thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We have a local artist in the town of, I know, a small town of Pierce. We have a local artist, and she was so stoked. She was like, "This is going to go to Lori Otter," and I was like, "Yes." So she was very excited about this. So every cadet was required to write a speech in English. This year was the first time that we actually integrated the males and females together in certain classes, and so it was a little hard just to pick three cadets that came up to do speeches. So we picked the two top for our contest. The contest is over, and this is the prize for these two cadets. It is my great honor to introduce from the Scouts Flight, Cadet Staff Sergeant Schoeneman.
Good afternoon, good evening. So for the last time, sadly, squadron, drink water! I hope everyone is staying hydrated. You know, it makes me so happy to see everybody taking care of themselves like that. In all reality, it's hydrate or die. So, my name is Cadet Staff Sergeant Schoeneman, and I'll be 18 years old very soon. I'll be an adult. I'll be expected to manage myself 100%. Of the time being 17, almost 18, has made me realize a lot. When I was younger, I used to blame my family and my environment for who I am and the problems I had. My family and my environment did have a part to play in who I'd become, as well as it influenced me, but it wasn't the main cause of my decisions. I used those two things as an excuse for my actions. I squandered a lot of the moments due to this attitude, not exactly like moments like attending the IDYCA or graduating high school, buying my first car, or anything like that. Not at all. It was the small moments, or considered not life-changing at a first glance. It was occasions like joining chess club or trying out for team sports, maybe talking to the new kid in class or volunteering in your community. I didn't deem the little things worthy of my time. I thought I wasn't smart enough for chess club, nor fit enough for sports, or exactly the volunteering type. But I was wrong. What it really was is I didn't have passion or perseverance. I lacked both of those characteristics, but mostly, I lacked most of all what is referred to as grit. Grit is the trait of trying something new, but also sticking to it. I didn't have the passion to try something new due to self-created fears. I definitely did not have the perseverance to stick to something if it ever got difficult. But that changed. Life got real fast. I was charged by the courts and given very few options outside of a cell. With my very few options, I decided to check into a rehab. While in rehab, in mid-October 2017, I met a man named Mario Pyle. He explained to me who he was. Mario was an admissions counselor for the IDYCA. At first, I was skeptical. Again, those self-created fears had struck. But as we were sitting facing each other, filling out paperwork, we had gotten to the part with the X and the dotted line. Sweaty palms and a knotted stomach, holding a pen in my hand, Mario spoke to me. And he said, "Young man, you can make the sacrifice now, or you can make the sacrifice later." Then, something in me had relaxed. I felt more okay, more accepting of the idea I'd be going to a military school. Passion had sparked. I signed my name on the dotted line and officially began my journey of the Idaho Youth Challenge Academy. Time had passed, like always too fast. January came, and that same feeling of sweaty palms and a knotted stomach had returned. Still amazed with myself, I kept thinking, I'm really doing this. When I first got to IDYCA and put on what is called my Go Fasters, or my running shoes with my winter PT uniform, I didn't know what I was doing. both in that moment in time and in life in general. I didn't think I'd get this far in life. The date was January 14th. In my candidate uniform, in silence, nobody was allowed to speak. As a result, I'd watched, I'd learned, I had adapted to my new environment. I would not fail. I knew inside of me there was something fighting. I felt like that something was struggling not to drown underwater. That something wanted, needed, and craved a fresh breath of air. That something pushed and fought until it got air. What I'm talking about is passion. My passion made me push myself and defeat all obstacles. I had to go 100 miles an hour 100% of the time. I always had to push myself as if I was swimming upstream. I had to do this because there wouldn't be any more second chances. No more if I can't do this, or no more I don't know how. Going through IDYCA, it was never me against you or survival of the strongest. It was nothing remotely close to that kind of atmosphere. It was who will lead, who will follow, or who will wash out. All of the who will was based on who do you want to be. And I wasn't someone who was a natural leader, but as a result, I learned and grew as a person to develop those leadership skills. I figured out who I wanted to be. Leaving my comfort zone is what made my character stand out and complete the mission. Through my struggle, I strived for success. I wouldn't accept anything other than my very best. Lo and behold, I achieved that success. IDYCA's dining facility, or what is known as the DFAC, has a quote posted on the wall. If there's a recipe for success in life, it starts with picking the right ingredients. I believe 3 of those ingredients are grit, struggle, and vision. I've gotten a lot of all 3 things in my pocket now, as all do my fellow cadets. When I'm asked, Shoneman, what's your greatest accomplishment? My reply is my commitment to the academy and making the most of my situation. I started my journey with no compass, no direction, no idea of what I wanted to do with my life. But it didn't stop me. I just kept motoring through it. I'd always tell myself to never give up, never quit, and never go away. Simply for the reason that failure is not an option. And those who I know who are still here, they all learned this through the academy journey. Every day, it felt like each and every one of us cadets were taking apart a mountain, pebble by pebble, moving it across the world. I use this mountain analogy simply because the mountain we are taking apart is our old life, our poor coping skills, as well as the negative influences. Slowly, though, pebble by pebble, we took apart our old mountain. Some days felt like we were carrying boulders the size of Texas. Although those boulders were hard and heavy to heave, they were destined for our new mountain. These struggles and accomplished moments we had endured will never leave us. It may be behind us and no longer causing any more pain, but it chiseled a piece of itself into our character. It chiseled a piece of itself into each and every individual's future, and it will make all of our futures that much better. When I speak about things such as the boulder and all, hopefully it makes every person hearing this relate and remember a time they struggled and grew. Everyone, and I mean every single person, has struggled one way or another, and it's what we choose to do afterward that counts. I wanted to survive and grow from my experiences. My yesterday, my last week, last month, and year are all the seed planted deep within my heart, and every day it grows. It's blooming into who I am right here, this moment in time, and right now is all we really have. There's a Sanskrit proverb I once heard. Look well to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In it lies all the realities of existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow only a vision. But today well lived makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day, for it and it alone is life. Thank you. I'm Cadet Staff Sergeant Shoneman. Please stay hydrated, and God bless 18 TAC 1. Now, it is my great honor to introduce from the Axeman Flight, Cadet Staff Sergeant Waldrop.
Well, they set the bar pretty high. I'll try and do my best. Without further ado, here is my commencement speech. I find it interesting that the majority of people who are successful or have at one point in their life experienced success have all endured struggles and hardships. Their success was not handed to them, nor did it come from luck. These people who achieved success all had difficult backgrounds. While their past may have been rough, it was a necessary foundation that they needed built to become great. People often say that they are at rock bottom, but if you really think about it, rock bottom is the best foundation to start building up from, because once you're down, the only physical way you can go is up. That's a lesson most people never learn. Hello, friends, family, staff, as well as our tech sergeants, to graduation of Class 18 TAC 1. A troubled class at first. I know I can speak for all the Axemen when I say this, but like I said prior, all great stories never start with a picture-perfect background. We had our struggles, and we failed at times. And when there seemed to be some progress within the flight, we would just end up taking 2 steps back. However, we were all faced with a decision in life, whether to rise up from our ashes and become legends, or to fall and let our past consume us. The list of excuses as to why you can't change or stay on the right path was lengthy. At the end of the day, they're just excuses you tell yourself. I know I did. Time is funny like that. In the beginning, not many people could envision this day, commencement, and few could imagine that they would be sitting here today in a cap and gown, graduating with 14 credits and a newfound direction in life. There were ups and downs, but we pushed on, driving through the hard times to come out on the other side of the great, and the moment of commencement we all looked forward to. We made it. When none of us fathomed it to be possible, we just inched our way through, day by day, constantly trying to prepare ourselves for life on the outside, and being ready when the day came, and we walk off this base for good. That is when your journey really begins. I came from the depths. I hit rock bottom, and I somehow managed to dig myself a few feet deeper. From a kid who was sitting in a cell not too long ago, to my mother who wanted me as a ward of the state because she just couldn't handle me, to my own sister telling me that I was no longer a part of the family. And those cold nights I would come to a place I used to call home and find it locked because I was no longer welcome. Time I slept in my school parking lot on the gravel because I had no place to go. I knew when a teacher showed up for school that they would let me in and I could get something to eat. After this went on for a while, I moved in with a buddy of mine who actually came to this academy with me, Adric Juarez. His old broken recliner became my home. No matter how much sleep I got or how bad my previous night was like, I would get up in the morning, shower, take a look at myself in the mirror, and tell myself that I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be alive today because I had the opportunity to change my current situation, to not let my past dictate where my future is headed. That's the thing about life. It may get hard at times, but you still get to control where your life is going. You and you alone can make that choice, no matter how bad it gets. So I would tell myself that it could be a lot worse, and I needed to be grateful for all the things that I had. A place to sleep, a warm shower in the morning. It was my positive outlook that got me through some of my hardest days. I realized I didn't have it as bad in the moment, so I had no reason to be upset because I wasn't homeless or behind bars or in a crack house doing things to my body that I would regret for years. And I wasn't dead. I wasn't dead, so I knew that this wasn't the end for me. I could rise up from the hole I put myself in and become great. And that's exactly what I did. I came, I saw, and I conquered. A quote I choose to live by. This took time, though. I didn't change overnight. I had to put in the literal blood, sweat, and yes, the occasional tear, because change did not come easy for me. It did not come easy. I struggled at first, but I didn't let my failure stop me. I got back up, and I kept pushing forward. I endured all that pain and all that misery and all that upset that came with change, because I knew that if I didn't change, I was going to end up on bars for good, unable to come back and say, but wait, I changed now. No, it doesn't work like that. Once you screw up bad enough, there's no turning back. You just have to live with the choices you get and the decisions you make, in good and in bad. But I wasn't making any good ones, that's for sure. So I had to become a man of good character, and that's exactly what I did, thanks to the IDYCA. So don't tell yourselves or your family that you can't change or wait. I didn't take the academy seriously enough. It's a choice you choose. Or if you might mess up, at the end of the day, it just comes down to a choice. To pick the hard right instead of the easy wrong. And if people are influencing you to do the wrong, it's called influencing. They're not committing the acts for you. It still comes down to your choice to be able to say, no, that's not what's right, and I won't do that. If you lose friends along the way, you're just going to find out who your real friends are. I have a fond memory of one night when our tech sergeants decided to run a sea bag drill. Now, what a sea bag drill entails is that you grab all your gear from your wall locker, everything is taken out and placed in the middle of the tarmac. Once completed, You were instructed to run all your gear and place it in the correct positioning inside your wall locker, one by one. One sock, one pencil, and one shirt at a time. After about 45 minutes of nonstop running, the tension within the flight began to increase. A lot of emotions were high. People were upset because while they were entering or exiting the bay, they would run into a cadet doing the same. The confrontation, on top of the strenuous physical activity, caused people to become aggravated and have a negative outlook of our task. That was until one cadet broke out in cadence. There was just a faint reply at first. Most people didn't want to join, still being upset at what they had to do. But slowly and surely, the sound of cadence soon engulfed the entire flight, and a bay that was once filled with heavy breathing and the sound of wall lockers being punched turned into a bay filled with the sound of cadence, sounded off by young, soon-to-be men. One simple act of a cadet turned a terribly tedious task to a moment of great camaraderie and suffrage as a whole. It's crazy what sort of brotherhoods as well as sisterhoods can be formed when there's an endured suck or an overall hardship that we take on together. That's exactly what we did. Graduating cadets here today, we all endured and we all conquered together as one. Take pride in that. The Idaho Youth Challenge Academy. Few words I ever thought I would mutter. Commencement for that matter, a place I didn't ever think I was capable of being. But now I have purpose, I have direction, I know where I want my life to go. I stand tall and I carry myself with pride. I'm kind, I'm compassionate, I'm always willing to extend that helping hand if someone needs it. I have good values of honor, integrity, and courage, as well as being a loving brother instead of the low-life junkie that I used to be. This is all thanks to the efforts of the Idaho Youth Challenge Academy, who didn't give up on me even when I pushed people away, and trust me, I pushed them. I'm just one of two, though, chosen today to present a commencement speech in front of all of you, but I'm definitely not the only one who changed. In fact, all 111 graduating cadets sitting before you today have changed. We all had obstacles and great difficulties to overcome to become outstanding citizens of our communities. It was a long road and was definitely not something that came with ease. They all put in the work to get the right to be able to be here today and graduate. Amongst us, future lawyers, doctors, military personnel dedicated to protecting and serving our nation, as well as future business owners and athletes. But above all else, greatness. Greatness is within every single person in this room. We ourselves just had to realize what our full potential really looked like. Now is your time. You all put in the work. You have the tools. You are capable of success. Now's your time. The sky's the limit. Pick a star and shoot for it. You can never aim too high. You may land just a little short, but you still made it a lot farther than you thought possible. So I would like a quick round of applause because all these cadets deserve recognition for their hard work and change. So at this time, if you could please show them how proud you are. If you have nodded off in my speech, it's okay. I understand it's a long day. But if you could bear with me for another minute or so, I promise, if you implement just these few things, you will become a better person than you were yesterday. Be kind. We are all going through life, and every single person in this room has baggage. So help one another when the opportunity arises. We're just trying to get through this whirlwind of a journey that we call life. Be grateful. The poorest person in America is still considered rich in comparison to the rest of the world. It can always be worse. So take the little things you have in life, like a bed to sleep in, clothes on your back, food, a place to go home to. Be grateful. Life's all about perspective, positive perspective. Say these words and you will receive praise often. Thank you. Not enough do we thank people for their efforts or kind things that they do for us. Smile. Often life may seem like it may be moving in slow motion, but when it's all said and done and you're no longer living, how do you want to be remembered? A happy-go-lucky person who who always had a positive mindset, no matter how difficult things got? Or do you want to be a grump who never saw the bright things in life? The choice is ultimately yours. But I hope when the days get rough and troublesome, when the world seems darkest and you start to lose hope, don't be discouraged. Stay focused on your goal. There is always light on the other side of the darkness. So push forth through the darkness until you reach the light. Always. Always give your best effort in all that you do. Work, school, leisure activities, no matter the task, big or small, if you always give forth your best effort, you can never let yourself down. Because we as humans, we don't expect perfection. All we ask for is that you give your best effort. Win or lose, succeed or fail, you tried your best, and that's what counts. So don't get discouraged in the moment of failure. Learn from it and keep moving forward. Gems, Scouts, and Acts, keep your head up. I believe in all of you. Greatness is within each and every single one of you. Your past does not define you, and you are in control of what your future will bring. You completed a 5.5-month-long quasi-military program. You already proved you're capable of long-term commitment. Now's your chance. You're released from the nest. It's up to you, whether you fly and soar to great heights or fall, stumble, and crash. As Flight Chief, I would like to end my speech. 48 acts been assigned, 41 acts been present, 41 acts been graduating. But in memory and honor of Dylan Keel, 42 acts been in our hearts. My name is Staff Sergeant Waldrop. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for the second chance at life. Please have a great rest of your day.
I love my job. So I will have to say a little about Cadet Waldrop, who was on Directors in my list of possibly dismissing during acclimation. So the change in this young man is huge. So I just have to say, we love our job and what we do with these cadets. So all of these cadets also have the help of their adult volunteer mentors who give of their time and love to serve as their coach, friend, and accountability partner in the achievement of those PRAP goals. Here to recognize these volunteers and present some mentor awards is our mentor coordinator, Mr. Dan Drover.
Cadets, you made it. I bet you didn't think 22 weeks ago that you'd be sitting here today. How many of you thought about going home? Quite a few of you. Now remember, you wouldn't have been able to make it without support. And you had support from staff, from your families, and from your mentors. Now many of you knew your mentors ahead of time, prior to coming to the Academy, and some of you didn't know your mentors prior to the Academy. And we had what we call a blind match. But they're there for you. They are there to encourage you. They wrote you in their weekly, you wrote them and made that bonds through your weekly letters and conversations. It came to mentor days. I remember one of our mentors even brought donuts for everybody. Everybody remember that? So that was pretty special. Our mentors are what we call our unpaid volunteer staff. And if I could get the mentors that came today, if you could please stand to be acknowledged. Let's give them a round of applause. So they're there to help you for the next however long, but definitely for the next 12 months. They're there for your support. And through those weekly contacts that I remember you all pledged to do, and along with your family and staff, if you're ever struggling or need help, we're here for you. We're here to help you out. Now we are handing out mentor awards, and those are always hard to choose who to pick from. Like we said, we have people that volunteer that have never met their cadet prior to the Academy, and we also have mentors who sign up who have known their cadet for many years. Along with that, some of the things that I look at is how many letters they've written, how many mentor days they've come to, the contacts they've had with their cadets, and it's other things that go along with that. So the first person we want to acknowledge and recognize is from the GEMS, which is Michelle Hendrick. And Cadet Swintowski, coming up, please. Then for the axeman is Cadet Campbell with Dennis Gross. I don't know if Dennis made it here or not. And Mr. Gross, by the way, is the one who brought donuts for all the staff and all the cadets. It made a pretty special day. And for our final cadet for the Scouts is Cadet Kramer, along with Marty Hogerman. And like I said, the journey has not ended with the commencement today. Your mentors are here for you, along with, again, your family and the staff. Continue on with those weekly contacts that we all pledged to do. Remember that match oath ceremony that we all did. We all signed Form A of that mentor application, so we all know what our obligations are. Make sure you're making those contacts. We say it's your responsibility to get those contacts, see them at least once a month. And I know many of you make a lot more memories than that. Along with that, our mentors, don't forget, our first mentor report is due on July 15th. I'm going to throw that out there. And today is a contact, so that's one of them you can chalk up. Also, any family or friends who would like to be mentors, I'm going to throw out my plug here while I have a chance. We're always looking for mentors for future classes. So if you are willing to be a mentor, to help change someone's life, you can go onto our website, which is ideyouthchallenge.com. We have mentor applications right there, or just call Miss Carmen and she'll put you through to me. But again, mentors are very important. They're here for the 5.5 months while the cadets are at the academy, but also for additional 12 months prior, or for the post-res. And hopefully those contacts and that bonding that you made will last a lifetime. And thank you all.
Please welcome Commandant Guy Bonner to share some class and individual achievements during the residential phase.
Cadets, go ahead and stand up real fast. All right, go ahead, have a seat. I know you were all probably wanting to stand up. Sit down. It's all right, that part's over. This isn't part of it. I see they were dying over there. And after being at the formal dinner last night, Muskie didn't get taken off stage, so I felt you weren't going to take me off stage. So I was safe to do what I wanted. Now, I wanted to say something, too, with about wall drop. You know, I always tell them I don't think I've seen a cadet yet that's come through here that's been so low or on the brink of going home and then end up so high. It was just phenomenal, and a lot of cadets make a lot of progress here, and that's a tribute to it. So I just Thought that was cool. And I could tell by listening to his speech, he listened to me on a few things. Oh, well, it's pretty good. So I would like to thank Governor Otter and guest speaker, First Lady Lori Otter, and Brigadier General Garshak, Mr. White, VIPs, special guests, and all the family, friends, and loved ones who are in attendance today. This is a pivotal moment in these cadets' lives, and you sharing it with them is something they're not going to forget. I'd also like to thank the programs in education, administration, logistics, medical, DFAC, and cadre departments for everything they do. Each department works like a family, and this is what makes us strong. This is what keeps us in the company of academies others seek to emulate. Family and devotion to duty is the secret to our success, and something we impress on these youth who sit before you. Things in life have taken on new meaning for them. Tires, logs, litter on the road, family, mail, making your rack, and most important, the idea of goals. They've also found new meaning in what it is to be motivated, driven, to strive for perfection knowing it can never be attained, yet striving nonetheless. They have worked hard and have much in themselves to show for it: pride, confidence, appearance, presence. I've always told the cadets I am not concerned with them being the best. Rather, I'm concerned that they do their best. So I'm here to talk about some of their accomplishments. And before I want to do that, there was a few I was thinking about today. I was talking about the program staff, and all of our staff work hard to make sure that the vocational stuff gets off without a hitch. It's just a big team effort. No one department does it. If you were in welding, stand up. Cool. If you were in carpentry, stand up. Right? If you were in the AMAP program, stand up. You can remain standing, ladies. Carpentry, welding. If you were in Loop Tech, stand up. All right. Who took electrical or aviation? Stand up. Right on. Have a seat. Thank you. There's a lot of vocational programs, yes. And these are those practical skill sets that our world needs, our state needs, and we give them just a glimpse of it. They get enough to get their hands wet, get their feet wet, and really aspire to try new things that they didn't know really were out there. So that's awesome. All right, so accomplishments in PT. These guys PT all the time. Mornings, evenings, hikes, free time in the bay, consequences, right? Pretty much anywhere there's a moment to work out, we work out. In doing so, each of those moments all add up to create the change cadets see in their physical life. Please hold your applause until I am finished reading the stats for the whole squadron. I'll go through the GEMs, ACTs, and the Scouts, and then we'll have a moment to show them our appreciation. So the GEMs came in, and together they did a combined amount of 481 push-ups. And when they left here, they were doing 1,234 together as a team. Then in their mile run, they started out with an average of an 11-minute and 31 mile, and they ended up dropping that down to like 2.5 minutes to a 9:05. It's crazy. The Axemen had total amount of push-ups at 820, and they bumped that up to 1740. And their mile run went from an 8:45 all the way down to 7 minutes flat as a team average. Scouts, total push-ups was 986 together, and 1,870 is what they finished at as a team. And their mile run went from 9:10 down to 7 minutes and 6 seconds. Give them a hand. I like to think without them motivators over there, some of those days might not have happened, but we hope you go forward with that and keep it up. Service to community is another big accomplishment, and Mr. White spoke about that. It was pretty cool to see the impact that you have. And your contribution to those hours was over 5,500 in just your squadron. So good job with that. 5,500 hours of service to the surrounding communities of the IDYCA. Some of the activities included working with senior homes, clearing trail with the Forest Service, providing services to fish hatcheries, donating blood to the Red Cross, and providing other miscellaneous services to small communities around the area. This is an important aspect of the challenge program and one cadets take with them when they leave. We've even had a past cadet that has been going to school, working a job, and volunteering many hours each week to a local VA home. Cody Gilbert, right? Cody Gilbert. This stuff sticks with us. You guys, we're going to remember all of you. So it's amazing to see that passion carried on when you leave here. Now, part of the PT thing is the weight loss. This squadron, standing right there, is 1,097 pounds lighter than the day they came to us. 1,097. Now, I didn't factor in the offset numbers from those who gained the muscle mass our burpee god over there, Juarez, right? You self-proclaimed. But some needed it, some didn't, and that was just an impressive number. I'm going to name a couple of the cadets in each flight that lost the most. So we had Lemos from the gyms. She lost 29 pounds. Enriquez, Enriquez from the gyms. She lost 31. And then Hewlett, 39 pounds. And Riley, 43. I'll go with the scouts. We had Lagunas, who lost 28 pounds. Wilson lost 34 pounds, and Mejia, 46. Pretty cool. And now I'll hit up the Axemen because they killed it this class. It was just amazing. I think total they lost 603 pounds in just their flight. Flores L, 52 pounds. Hess in the Axemen, 55. Flores O, 56. Flores is we're PTing together. And Sandoval, 68 pounds. Now, Cadet Waldrop had mentioned his buddy Juarez Adric, and both of them were two of multiple motivators in our squadron. But when he said that, it was just funny because I have something of Juarez's here. Juarez came here, and when he came to us, we give him these canteen belts. And usually they're sized. We have like a large pile of medium and a small, and it makes it easier for us to hand them out when it comes to acclimation because that's a pretty quick process, right? It just happens, and there you are, and the parents are gone. Some cadets have to have two belts to clip them together because the one won't work. Juarez lost 88 pounds. His determination, he looked at me one day and he was like, "You ever had someone lose 100? I was like, well, currently our max numbers are around the 60s. That's our best, mid-60s has been the best. And he's like, well, I'm going to do it. And he kept pushing, and he did what I tell him. You might not always reach the goal, but you have one, and you're headed towards it, and that will create success. So I would like Juarez to come up here, and he's going to keep this belt, because this is the belt that he no longer needed. And he kept it strapped to his backpack the whole time. Excellent work, buddy. Thank you. He no longer needed that belt, and he kept it with him everywhere he went. That thing was strapped to the back of his backpack. He was proud of that thing. And then I had one of the cadre. I said, hey, tell him to turn in their gear and get Juarez's belt. Don't let him know. So I appreciate that. Cadre are always helping me out. So there's something about working out and losing weight that gives a person a new lease on life. There's a feeling you cannot find a substitute for. These cadets have found that, and I hope they take it with them in their lives. At this time, I'd like to recognize a very small group of cadets. Of course, completing a 22 weeks in an environment that requires you to fight against all your negative habits, as well as being away from everything you are used to or comfortable with, is quite a feat. Some come in and struggle in the beginning, some in the middle, some in the end. There are also those that prefer the roller coaster method. Yeah. And then there are the few that just seem to strap in and get it done. And we always wonder, what are you doing here? But we know, because we know most of your stories. While at the academy, cadets earn consequences, and sometimes those consequences are written forms that go into their records. These cadets made 22 weeks without receiving one negative write-up, which is just about impossible. So this can be anything from talking in the chow line to not putting forth your best effort at something. It's rare to make the whole cycle. It doesn't mean it was easy for them. They just chose to embrace the struggle and persevere. They decided to make the best of it, even if it wasn't a preferable situation. I would like to have those cadets stand as I call their names. Cadet Enriquez, Cadet Big Hair, Cadet Chandler, Cadet Cleverly, Cadet Espinoza, Cadet Holcraft, and Cadet Zagal. Well done, cadets. Go ahead, have a seat. So now I'm going to reiterate a couple of things to the cadets. I'd like you guys to hear some of the things that I've been kind of trying to pound into you for a little while, and I think you've done well with it. But as we part, I'll give them to you. So always remember that you cannot stop time. You can't. There's nothing you're going to do about it. You cannot stop it. In the good times, don't take people for granted. Don't let things come between you. Ask yourself in a few years, is this really going to matter? In the bad times, know that it'll be over and that the darkest hour always comes before the dawn. You did not have a choice whether today would come or not. It was going to happen with or without you. However, you had the choice of where you would be, here or somewhere else. You could be at home thinking about graduation, knowing you quit or were sent home, but you are not, because you stayed the course. You cannot control time, but you can control you. Next thing, don't make long-term decisions based on short-term situations, those small moments in which we let our immediate emotions take control. It is there that we sometimes make our most critical and consequential decisions. Slow down, think about it, and understand the impacts are not worth the temporary satisfaction you may be seeking. And now for baggage. You can carry it high on your back or low. We all have it, and it all comes down to choices. Many times in life, you see two people that may have grown up in the same environment with the same negative factors. One of them uses all of that to propel them forward and make a change, breaking the cycle. The other, it allows to drag them down and repeat the cycle. In life, you can choose to carry your baggage high on your back and use it to push you forward, or you can choose to carry that weight low and allow it to drag you down. And remember that perspective is everything. With that, I would like to commend each and every one of you and every one of the cadets on their hard work and perseverance that placed them here today. Remember, it is the decisions that you made and the actions that you took in every hour of every day that led to this moment. It is an accumulative concept. We look at a mountaintop and think it is impossible to reach. However, when you look at the ground and put one foot in front of the other, eventually you arrive at your goal. So keep in mind, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. So do what you can today, and everything else will fall into place. Stay focused, stay the course, and Godspeed.
We're almost done. Almost. The goals these young women are striving to reach would not be possible without their continued improvement academically. Please welcome Principal Bickertharian.
Governor and Mrs. Otter, General Garshak, Mr. White, Director Sparrow, distinguished guests, parents, staff, it gives me great pleasure to conduct the certificate ceremony for the 9th class of the Idaho Youth Challenge Academy. It's always nice when the principal comes to the stage because you know you're almost done. You know, you've heard several times today about the staff at IDYCA. We take in loco parentis to the nth degree. We truly do parent your children while we have them. And mom and dad know what the other one's doing. We talk. Everyone at the academy knows what the other one's doing, and they don't get away with much. We are a great team, and that's what makes us successful. From Kelly Cowger handing out gear to Dr. Goddard counseling late into the night, to all the things that happen, we know what's happening, and we work as a team, and at the end of the day, we're still a team, and that makes us great. These 11 young people stuck together and dedicated themselves for 22 weeks working the program and applied themselves to improving in each of the 8 core components. As principal, I affirm that they have all been successful in this difficult task. Much to the chagrin of the teachers in the cadre, we tried an experiment with this class. For the first time, IDYCA had some co-ed classes. I might have been a marked man there for a while. This experiment was to be conducted with the cadets that scored the highest on the TABE. I called those 45 high-scoring cadets into the gym and explained what we were doing. One young man was in the front of the row and he was fidgeting. He raised his hand and asked permission to speak. I said, "Sure, send it." He says, "I think you got the wrong guy." I said, "Why is that?" His reply was, "Because I'm not very smart." It's not what the test says. He still agreed that he didn't think he was in the right group. That young man was Staff Sergeant Waldrop, the young man that spoke earlier. So many young people come to IDYCA with the false impression that they aren't very smart, when in reality, they may be just misinformed and possibly not very motivated. Not being good at school has nothing to do with being very smart. Maybe it means you're smarter than the rest of us. I will tell you that Staff Sergeant Waltrop's a pretty sharp guy. And there are 110 other pretty sharp young people out there sitting with him. What a joyous thing we get to do for a living. Candidates are tested on the TABE, the test of adult basic education, in week 2 and again as cadets by week 21. This class showed an average growth of 2.1 school years in 22 weeks. Remember, a typical school year is 36 weeks, and this is over 2 years of growth. Also, I said we had some high achievers. Over a fifth of this class scored 12.9 coming in, so they had no room for growth. That changes things a bit. The average grade equivalency on the pre-test was 8.1 and the post-test was 12.2. The class average GPA on entry was 1.94, not even C's. Their accumulative GPA now, including previous classes and the IDYCA classes, is 2.6. Their GPA for the academy courses was 3.52. 61% of these graduates had an accumulative GPA of below 2.0, many of them below 1.0. Today, that's just 2%. And none of them had below a 2.0 in their academy classes. 19 cadets are graduating with a 4.0 in their academy classes. Cadets had the opportunity to earn 14 credits in their time on campus. 14 credits is the equivalent of a full school year accomplished in 22 weeks. I'm excited to report for only the second time in our history that of the 1,554 credits available, 1,554 credits were earned. In addition to completing the rigorous residential phase of the program, we have 12 cadets that will earn their high school diploma today and 21 more earned their GED while at the academy. Besides these remarkable educational accomplishments, the cadets have made many other significant strides towards responsible citizenship. They've worked diligently accomplishing many soft skills that are difficult to measure but equally important. They registered to vote, registered for the selective service, participated in a stressful mock interview process, and many have secured employment or college acceptance. They are physically fit and ready for their future. Cadets, if you get 8 hours of sleep, exercise regularly, eat right, abstain from harmful behaviors, show up and do the work, there is nothing you cannot accomplish. At this time, with the help of the official party, we will issue certificates and diplomas by flight. Please hold your applause and cheering until the entire flight has been recognized.
So, from the Mountain Gem Flight, Maria Areola. Emma Bailey. Receiving her diploma, Miranda Becker. Receiving her diploma, Rachel Bueller. Faith Christensen. Quayle Coombs. Receiving her GED, Jaden DeCoscos. Receiving her diploma, Erin Doherty. Alyssa Doyle. Charlize Edmo. Ruby Enriquez. Alexandria Hart. Brooklyn Herrera. Julia Hewlett. Kaylee Lackey. Receiving her diploma, Bailey Lemos Skinner. Mara Lenz. Trinity Lesneski. Receiving her diploma, Litzy Lopez. Amelia Montoya. Receiving her GED, Haley Olson. Crystal Ramirez. Elizabeth Riley. Receiving her GED, Samantha Schwintowski. Naomi Tapia. Kylie Tomlinson. Serenity Tomlinson. Alina Wieland. Receiving her diploma, Madeline Young. From the Axeman Flight, Cameron Bennett. Xavier Big Hair. Dawson Campbell. Cameron Chandler. Receiving his GED, Casey Cleverly. Tyson Cooper. Carson Crookham. Leroy Damon. Receiving his GED, Garrett Espinoza. Omar Flores Lagunas. Oscar Flores. Lazarus Garza. Isaiah Hall. Seth Hall. Eric Hansen. Tyler Hess. Damiano Hochstrasser. Receiving his GED, Vaughn Hoffman. Lucas Holcroft. Hunter Housley. Daniel Jordan. Adric Juarez. Caleb Justice. Receiving his GED, Aiden Lynch. Adam Mananu. Calvin McCool. Hayden McDonald. Eastside Melchor. Anthony Munoz. Brandon Rohrenbach. Angelo Sandoval. Noah Sherwood. Jordan Sieverding. Carter Stack. Hunter Swift. Cooper Tolbert. Colby Waldrop. Tyler Waterman. Receiving his GED, Justin Webster. Receiving his diploma, Tyler Williams. Juan Zagal. From the Scouts Flight, Joshua Almaguer. Receiving his GED, Matthew Banda. Seth Barrett. Stephen Brown. Receiving his GED, Mason Free. Receiving his GED, Jacob Fulmer. Terry Gillum. Caden Gonzalez. Receiving his GED, Jackson Good. Braden Goodhart. Receiving his GED, Ian Grew. Alexander Guerrero. Receiving his diploma, Alex Henderson. Tristan Horton. Receiving his GED, Richard Jepson. Receiving his diploma, Edgar Juarez. Dakota Cly. Receiving his GED, Jonathan Kramer. Joel Lagunas. Aaron Lahman. Tyrell Martin. Jaden McCalmont. Isaac McCarthy. Fernando Mejia. Jared Muschke. Desmond Okama. Receiving his GED, Liam Panapecker. Try and get your back last name. Receiving his GED, Dylan Pawson. Receiving his GED, Roman Reese. Receiving his GED, Mackenzie Reeves. Receiving his diploma, Joseph Schwawecker. Brent Schoneman. Jesse Shriver. Carson Sines. Receiving his diploma, Jacob Staley. Receiving his GED, Dakota Stockton. Receiving his diploma, Andrew Strout. Andreas Trevino. Alejandro Vargas. Jasper Weir. And receiving his GED, Austin Wilson.
Congratulations, graduates. Some of them look nervous, some look happy, some look like, "Director, hurry up." Squadron Commander, put your squadron at attention and lead them in the IDYCA Cadet Creed. It always gives me goosebumps. Cadets, move your tassels from right to left over the heart. First Lady Otter, Brigadier General Garshak, Mr. White, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you from Class 2018 TAC 1, the 9th graduating class of the Idaho Youth Challenge Academy.
I was going to say, please stand, but it is now my privilege to introduce Cadet Staff Sergeant Shoneman, who will deliver the benediction.
Ill-gotten treasures have no lasting value, but righteousness delivers from death. Proverbs 10, verse 2. Let us pray. Dear God, our Heavenly Father, we pray unto you. We've changed. All of us have started down our path of righteousness. We've learned what true treasure is: faith, loyalty, love, and courage. We live by faith and loyalty. When faced with adversity, we face it with courage. When all seems perilous, our hearts have divine love. Lord, please give us your wisdom to continue this path of righteousness. Lord, bless us. We ask you to protect and watch over us as we venture into life. Guide us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Please, God, give us the strength and the will to push ourselves as we commence. With our lives, let us never forget our brothers and sisters, for a house united shall surely stand, but a house divided against itself shall surely fall. In your name, God, we pray unto you. Amen.
Please be seated. Few more instructions. We will have the dismissal of the cadets, and when the cadets are dismissed, they're going to go by row and they're going to head out the doors right here. And when they do, that will be the time that you guys can take pictures with them. Again, there's static displays between the two big doors here, which we're going to raise for you. Please do not go beyond the red line. Again, please do not go beyond the red line. But you can stand beside them, take pictures with your cadets. After you take pictures with the cadets, they need to go to the following room and pick up their grad packs, pick up their gear, and also pack up any medicine that they have at all that needs to be picked up before you leave. Staff will depart with or without you, having checked in no later than... Ask your cadet, they know what time they need to be out of here. So again, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. It is now my honor to introduce Commandant Bonner, who will dismiss the cadets.
Told them I wasn't going to use this. All right, cadets who I'm talking to, they can hear me, I'm sure. Probably everybody else. This is it, right? This was, normally we reserve this for people as a kind of a special gift to somebody, but I ended up being tasked with it, so didn't really have much prepared for you. However, I'll probably leave you with a quote and a few small words. So I heard something on the radio the other day, and Winston Churchill had said that success is really just moving from one failure to the next, but not losing your enthusiasm in between as you go on to the next one, right? You have to still push forward with that same zeal and vigor that you went and approached for this, okay? This is just the beginning. This is the beginning. You are now influencers. You are now going to inspire somebody. You are now going to have an impact on somebody else in your life. And it isn't just going to be in the singular, it's going to be in the plural. Your cadre over there did it for you. The staff at the IDYCA, they stood fast and held a standard for you right up to the end. And now it's your turn. It's your turn. And many of you are here because a cadet sitting in your seats made that decision and helped to impact you. So make sure that you do that. And I am happy to take the first step with you in your new beginning as I take commands from your tower with you. Cadets, on your feet. Class 2018 TAC 1. Dismiss!
the last one standing. 2 hands in the air, I'm a champion. You'll be looking up at me when it's over. I live for the battle, I'm a soldier. Yeah, I'm a fighter like Rocky. Put your flag on your back like Ali. Yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm stronger. Bet my dues, can't lose, I'ma own ya. Hey, I've been working my whole life, and now it's do or die. I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You don't know my name, you can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this, yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion. When they write my story, they're gonna say that I did it for the glory, but don't think that I did it for the fame, yeah. I did it for the love of the game, yeah. And this is my chance I'm taking. All them old records I'm breaking. All you people watching on the TV, you go ahead and put your bets on me. Hey, I've been waiting my whole life to see my name in lights. I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You don't know my name, you can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this, yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion.
Born champion. The C is for the courage I possess through the trauma. H is for the hurt, but it's all for the honor. A is for my attitude, working through the patience. Money comes and goes, so the M is for motivation. Gotta stay consistent, the P is to persevere. The I is for integrity, innovative career. The O is optimistic, open and never shut. And the N is necessary, cause I'm never giving up. See, they ask me how I did it, I just did it from the heart. Crushing the competition, been doing it from the start. They say that every champion is all about his principles. Carry.
I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You don't know my name, you can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this, yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion.
Yeah. Surpassed all rivals. It's all about who wants to